Okay, Tamek good morning. It is January 3rd, 2015 in the moon Masamiko Komiatos, the long night's moon, and I am on the road to meet up with my friend John Nightingale for a walk around BIGBY to see what's new. Yesterday evening and on through last night, it was snowing heavily. And so, like I've said before, when I get a fresh snowfall, if I can, I'll get out there right away the next day just to see who's been out there in this case, it'll be the last maybe 14 hours or so. You never know who's going to be wandering through. So we're going to go out there and see this morning. I also left a trail cam in the forest main during my visit a few days ago on one of the large mammal trails. Not expecting anything unusual there, maybe just seeing some white-tailed deer, maybe some coyote, probably a pheasant, who knows. But sometimes you do get some strange things that, unexpected things appear there. For instance, I've never seen a northern sawa owl in the city of Lethbridge, but I have captured images of them on my game cams from down here at BIGBY, where they just stopped in one night, and luckily they stopped in where my game cam was aimed. So you never know what you're gonna capture in terms of images and videos on there, unless you leave it down there and see what happens. So I'm gonna switch out the SD cards in that. Also, I want to look at the birds. I've entered the city of Lethbridge into what's being called the Urban Birding Challenge this year. It's basically a big year, which means it's a competition to see who can find the most birds in a single year. So I'm entering us for 2015 and coordinating effort, and it'll be a collective big year, so all the birders in Lethbridge can participate in creating one list of the species that we see this year, and we can compete against other cities for the title of Ornithopolis 2015. So I'll be coordinating that effort, and we've already got, in the first 2 days of January, almost a dozen birds on our list already. So I plan to add a few more down here because we don't have golden eyes or mergansers or bald eagles yet, or great horned owls, or black-capped chickadees, several of the species that we see down in the river bottom. So hopefully I'll be able to add those on, as well as maybe the northern shrike if he's still around. And yeah, other than that, just seeing what's new and who's been out in the fresh snow. So probably John pulling in here. Oh yes. Yeah, we're just down in just coming into the owl wood, trying to find the great horned owl. He's not in this little tree like he was the other day with the clematis. So hopefully we'll find him on one of the other usual perches along the west edge here. Just saw a ringneck pheasant, a female ringneck pheasant, a few minutes ago up that way, but she flushed before I had the camera out. Haven't seen too many tracks. Had a western jumping mouse or two at the beginning, I think, and then come across some deer, both on the golf greens by the pump house, and then coming down here at the south end of the owl wood. Alright, we had no luck finding the owl, but we are now here out on the river, where there's at least 3 golden eyes.
What's that? On the far ice slope, I can't see I haven't got my binoculars out. Is that a goose? Or is that a...
On the ice itself, or in the water?
Just getting in the river now. Is that a merganser? Or
Oh, yeah. I think it's a golden eye, but
Oh, is it? Shit.
not sure. It could be a merganser.
Let me get the binoculars out.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Big.
It's got an orange beak.
Yeah.
It's a merganser.
Common merganser. Flaming glasses are all fogged up. Is it dived?
No, he's right there.
Yeah, it's a merganser.
Good. You got the common merganser on there. The golden-eyed dove just there. Also, while we were walking in the Owlwood, we did hear a raven calling from the other side of the river. So that's another one for the urban birding challenge. It's not on the list yet. We're gonna go check the South Pond Spring, which is probably frozen over, or damn near close. Here is South Pond Spring right now, and as predicted, very, very little open water. Certainly not enough to attract any of the ducks that we've been seeing. Pretty cold out. I'm thinking, what do you think, 15 below? Oh, there goes a flicker. Yeah, we're just on the edge of the wet meadows here, going along the forest main, and Sean spotted this sleepy porcupine up here.
Sort of sheltered from the north wind, isn't he?
Yeah.
Nicely.
Yeah, he's got a nice little bed in a tree branch.
When they come down the tree like that, you know, the tall tree, do they come head first or do they
No,
back down?
they back down. No sign of the shrike or the merlin as yet.
Is this where you saw the merlin?
Yeah, just a little ways up here is where I came across the merlin the other day. Yeah, we're just checking the Northwood now, but with pretty much no success.
That's an understatement.
Just not seeing a lot out here today. Everything looks awesome with the new snow, but here's some geese. Hey, who do we got here? Oh. Checking to see if there's any ducks among them. Yeah, so as you witness, John and I weren't too successful in seeing a whole lot of different species and things going on down at the pond today. But we went out, did our thing, added a couple more birds to the urban birding challenge list that we're building. Had a friend of ours, Ken Orick, email me while I was out there and send me his list from the last few days, which includes a saw-whet owl that's really pretty rare here for Lethbridge. I mean, we get them. Certainly there's plenty in Alberta, but in Lethbridge they're few and far between, and the only one I've seen myself, quote unquote seen, was through the eyes of my trail cam. One time I left the cam in some bullberry brush and a northern saw-whet turned up for the evening. But any case, I still have some a little bit of time, maybe an hour of sunlight left, so I figured I'd just take a little ruck march in Riverstone here down into the coulee, just to take a look at the river, see if any bald eagles happen to pass by or anything like that. On my drive home from the pond, I did see a small flock of gray partridge, so I can add those to the list too. But there's still a whole lot of winter birds, but we're only 3 days into the challenge. So anyway, I'm gonna hike down this way with what little daylight I've got left and take a look at the river. Everybody's busy in the neighborhood. Last hour or so of sunlight left and they're out there making the snow disappear off their drive pads and sidewalks and stuff. I already did my shoveling for today. What I didn't do today though was go running. Today would have normally been my run day, but it is about 20 degrees below zero here in Alberta right now, and even I've got my limits for what kind of conditions I'm willing to run in. Plus, you know, as you see, people are clearing the snow. There's a lot of snow, so it's 20 below, and with a little bit of snow deposit to work against you. So I didn't bother running this morning. But I have kind of committed myself for 2015 to trying to maintain a 12,000 step or 12 kilometer on foot movement per day, just you know, for health purposes. And so I'm only about a little over halfway there. I think I'm probably right now I'm about 8,000. So I got about 4,000 more steps to take. So I thought I'd go for a walk down here into the coulee just behind my neighborhood. Another one of the commitments that I made this year for 2015 is to undertake what's called a BIGBY, B-I-G-B-Y. And that is a big green birding year, which is where you challenge yourself to see how many species of bird that you can find within the year using no motorized transportation of any kind. So you can walk, you can bike, you know, whatever, jog or what have you, but you can't get in your car and drive anywhere. It's all got to be on foot from your home. So since I don't have the kind of like resources and stuff to undertake, you know, a big year where I'm jet setting around all around North America to try to see every single bird species that's possible in a year, like some guys do. What I do have, and what I think I'll actually enjoy more, is a BIGBY, which is challenging myself here at home to see as many as I can afoot. And that's going to mean, no doubt, that when there's an odd species, a rare species that turns up in town, I'm going to have to hike my way or run my way or bike my way or in some way get across town to see whatever it might be. So tonight, I'm just hiking down here, not specifically for the BIGBY, but if I see anything that is not already on my BIGBY list, then I'm going to add it to the list. The list is pretty short right now. It's got like black-billed magpie and Canada goose and northern flicker. So, but there's a lot of other birds around to see. So as the winter goes on here, I'm going to try to get as many of the winter birds as I can. And who knows, could come across something, especially when I come within sight of the river down here. I'm headed down the coulee way right now, so it's always a chance to see a golden eye or something like that on the river, like I did this morning with John out at the pond. That didn't count though, because it wasn't green, so to speak. And I'm just gonna come over this little rise and be within total sight of the river. I can see a good stretch of it already this way. Most of it is closed up in this area, which is not really surprising. And scout this these strips out for any ducks. Not seeing any. Yeah, not seeing any ducks at all. A lot of times geese will congregate at this opening down this way in the winter, or out here. That patch looks like it's maybe iced over. Yeah, not seeing any at present. Shit, I might as well go down to the river and get a rock to throw on the cairn that I started building last winter when I was using these ruck hikes as a means of keeping some degree of cardio health, as I was experiencing a serious asthma issues last winter. So yeah, I think I'll go down to the river and I'll hike back up a different ridge with a rock to throw on that cairn. It's one of my favorite parts of this moon and the next, midwinter. Being able to be out here and just walk right on top of the river. Can cross over, check out the forest on the other side if I please, you know. It's one of the good things about the ice is that it allows access to areas that I only get to see with my eyes from across the other side of the river most of the time. And then we get these opportunities, and so if you have been watching me for a while, you know there's times when it starts getting this cold like this, that I'll go across. And it's actually, there's an owl nest back there. It's a pair of breeding owls who will be maybe toward the end of next month, should start next in the late February in the next moon, or even the moon after, nesting and sitting eggs. So, and we might be able to even see between now and then some mating behavior from the bald eagles, because they go at the same time. But yeah, just walking in the river down to this next ridge where I want to go up. Might be in time to see the geese coming in for the evening. I just saw a flock up ahead. I don't know if they landed or not. Sometimes down here, like right when it's turning dark, the geese all come down to the river. If you're in the right spot, and sometimes it's right down here, it's just like thousands of geese show up within a matter of, I don't know, 20 minutes maybe. Just flock after flock after flock as it turns dark. Yeah, I see another flock coming in. Don't know if we'll be able to catch it on here. The light is getting dim. Oh. They're coming in quite a ways upstream from me. Yeah, right along where those cliffs are. Can hear them, but can't see them. Maybe tomorrow night, if things just turn out right, I'll go down there to watch them come out, or to watch them fly in. But tonight, I think I'm a little bit late for that. I mean, I could get down there, but I'd like to see it right from the start, and they've already started. And as I walk, they're going to continue rolling in. Just making excuses because I'm here at the area where I want to get a rock and then climb up that slope toward my cairn and deposit the rock up there. But no, actually it is better if you can get situated beforehand, because as I get closer, they're gonna see me coming in, and any flocks that are gonna be thinking about landing might just choose to go elsewhere. Yeah, you just hear them out there. Lots of goose ruckus. You know, as each clan of the geese comes into the river, a lot of times they kind of showboat, kind of show off. You know, as they come in within view of the others, because the ones down below will call to them. They'll see them, you know, and a lot of times they make a big show of coming down. Sometimes the geese will flip upside down, even like right upside down, and it makes this weird whooshing noise as their bodies drop when they're upside down like that. But it makes for quite a grand entrance, and they'll just almost like if you've ever done skydiving. I used to be a skydiver. You know, sometimes you try to make a real fancy landing where you're coming down really fast and then suddenly stop, and it's how a lot of skydivers break their legs and stuff. But for the geese, that's what a lot of times what they do at at these big communal night roosts too, is they'll make a big show as each clan comes down, and some clans are way more showy than others. I found my rock that I'm going to bring up. This little guy right here is not giant as far as rocks go, you know, fits in my hand. A lot of times I'll get much bigger rocks out here, but this was the first one. Oh, what do we have here? Who do we have? I think we have a bald eagle. Where are you, buddy? Fuck. This camera, man. Just not adjusting to this low light, but trust me, there's a big bald eagle flying overhead right now. And this camera is just not picking up on it. Darn. Yeah, he's going where the geese are going. So, any case though, I'm adding bald eagle to both the Urban Birding Challenge and my BIGBY list. Yeah, so I'm going to throw this. This rock was the first to volunteer, so I'm going to throw it in my ruck. My ruck is already weighted with about 35 pounds of sand. And just to give me a little bit of exercise as I'm walking. And yeah, it's going to start getting dark, so I might as well throw it in and get my way up there. I won't even be able to find the cairn by the time I'm there. Hope you could hear that. That was the great horned owl couple, or one of the members. That was I think the male. Male goes, ooh, 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 ooh. Female goes, ooh, 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 ooh. Yeah, he's down there across the river. And actually, there he goes again. Actually, just hearing them and having a solid identification based on that hearing is enough to count a bird toward the BIGBY and the Urban Birding Challenge. So I've added both bald eagle and great horned owl tonight. Here's my little stone cairn. Had to just got lucky, the darker one on top just shone through the snow. Had to dust it off, and it's going to be a large sun cairn in time, and I might do a moon and a morning star up on this ridge as well. This ridge really seeing afar, and it's my home. I just live right over there where those lights are, where those houses are, and I plan to live there a long time. Anyway, I've got another rock to add to the cairn. You know, it's not a huge one, but something. Just keep slowly building. Had a lot of experiences just here on this ridge here. Down this way toward the bottom in that gulch there where you see the dark brush, right in that area there's a coyote den. And earlier in the summer, this last summer, they had some coyote pups that I was watching and even on occasion leaving some food for. Right here on this ridge, in fact, one time I got hunted by those coyote, and that was a scary thing. Yeah, it was dark and way in the middle of the night, and One of them was down the hill by maybe 50 meters from me, and she just sat still. It's such odd behavior because usually coyote, when they see me, they run away. So I moved down, closed about half of the gap distance between her and I, and then this little voice inside my head said, "Hey man, what if she's just a bait to lure you into a trap?" Then I looked back over my shoulder and noticed that I couldn't see above the ridge anymore. And so I climbed back up. You know, no sooner could I see above the ridge than a coyote like darted away. It had been sneaking up behind me. So she had been luring me in. And so I started, and this is something that the coyotes regularly do around here to dogs. One of the coyotes will go out and sit to attract a dog to come after it, and then when it does, the others in the pack will get behind it, and then they'll just kind of surround it and chase it down and kill it. Dogs and cats and stuff around here, they hunt, as well as lots of other things. Mostly they hunt, you know, mice and stuff like that. But anyway, I walk back, and it's, you know, it's still a ways back to that neighborhood. I don't know if it's quite a kilometer, but it's a ways. And all the ways, I have a little headlamp. Every time I turn around, those coyotes were right behind me, and they dart into the darkness. And then I'd walk, a few more steps and stuff, turn around, and they dart away again. And I had my knife out in case it came to hand to muzzle combat, but I don't think I would have stood much of a chance, you know. So yeah, that was just one of the experiences that I've had out here on this ridge. Mostly, you know, these coyotes they don't bother you. In fact, they're pretty timid and scared of people. Just that once they came after me. Well, it looks like that's about my last of my nature notes for January 3rd, 2015. I'm here. I've arrived at the outskirts of Riverstone, neighborhood where I live. And yeah, haven't seen a lot today, but I really feel good about getting outside at 20 below and not just holing out in the house and fearing the conditions. It's good to get out here and breathe the air and see what the animals are doing.